welcome to my YouTube channel. We knows, make sure to like, subscribe and comment for more. In a thicket at Oyugi's forest, there lay Sharon Otieno, dead, stabbed 3 times in the neck, 4 times in the back, and once in the left side of the abdomen. Her 7-month-old baby, separated from her womb, stamped in its tiny tongue. Wow. Okay, I am so sorry. I should have started with a disclaimer. So guys, the content that's going to be in this case, this video, it's going to be quite graphic. So if it's not your cup of tea, you can just leave. But that's what today's case is all about. As you know, I start with a little bit of a backstory. So we are going to start with today's star of the case, that's Sharon. So not a lot is known about Sharon's childhood, other than the fact that she was born in 1992 to Douglas Otieno and Melinda Awuma. Sharon was once married to Bernard Okuta. Bernard Okuta is a secondary school teacher, and they were blessed with 3 children, but apparently the marriage did not last long and the two went their separate ways. Sharon met Governor Obado in 2016 and they began as friends, but later romance brewed between them. Sharon could often visit him at his house. Okay, I'm not sure if it's his house because this guy was married. Maybe, he's a governor, so I'm sure he had other houses. Sharon, a 26-year-old student studying medical records and information at Rongo University, seemed to be living quite a luxurious life according to her social media. According to her posts, Sharon seemed to be able to afford to take photos at high-end hotels. She always wore nice clothes, always photographed herself, catching flights, not feelings. Okay, I'm not saying that is what she says. She used to caption it, but most of you guys know that's the caption: catching flights, not feelings. Okay, girls. So Sharon was obviously living a life that no university student could afford. I am so sure you guys have already seen those memes about how university students suffer, but let's not judge, because there are those people who not luckily, but they're able, they work hard and they're able, or they are sponsored by their family, they're able to afford this type of living. So we should not be quick to judge, because there are people out there working hard for what they have. So yeah, I guess maybe Sharon was working hard. Obviously for you to get all these things, you really have to work hard. And I am not being sarcastic. I'm just saying she was just working hard. I'm sure some of you may be wondering, who is this Governor Obado guy? Well, this governor, he's the governor of Siaya County. He's all types of shady. Okay, so already we have already established that he had a relationship with a university student. He was married, so obviously this guy was cheating. And apart from this guy, he's the governor. Okay, he's the governor at Siaya County. He has been stealing. Okay, allegedly, he has been stealing from the county government for the longest time, and him even appearing in court, even with his family, that is his children, for allegedly stealing money from the county government. So this guy, the patriarch of his family, has quite abandoned his children in this court case. He has distanced himself and even claiming that if his children stole from the county government, it is not on him because they are grown-ass people. They can make their own decisions, and if they stole, it's okay. This guy, really, you're the patriarch, you're the dad. Even though you stole, you stole as a family. You should be there with them. Everything was rosy between Governor Obado and his lady friend Sharon Otieno, up until Sharon got preggo. Yes, she got pregnant. And when she told her to-be baby daddy that she was expecting, At first, the governor was somehow okay with it, and he even promised to build her a house. But as she was nearing her delivery, the governor seemed as if that he was distancing himself away from the whole thing. And of course, Sharon grew desperate, and she thought, what am I going to do? Unfortunately, the next step that she would take would lead to her death. Sharon thought that the best option that she had was to go to the media so as to expose the relationship. Soon, the governor's office will receive a call from Nation's reporters so as to comment about the whole issue. Frantic, the governor's PA, that is Michael, sought to set up a meeting between him, the reporter, and Sharon at the Grace Hotel. On the day of the meeting, the reporter and Sharon were standing outside the Grace Hotel when a car drove up to them. As soon as the car drove up to them, Michael, remember Michael of Obado's PA, stepped out of the car, and the reporter and Sharon were quickly pushed into the car. Now the reporter and Sharon were squeezed in between two huge guys. Okay, I'm not sure if it's two huge guys, but I would assume it's two gigantic men. And obviously the reporter would start wondering what the freak is going on, and he quickly started asking why Michael had stepped out, and he was answered by being attacked. Like somehow aware of what was to come, Sharon began crying. But luckily, this reporter guy refused to, he refused to be attacked, and he was able to jump out of the moving car and quickly go to the nearest police station to report what had happened. Unfortunately, he had left Sharon in the hands of these men. The next day, on September 4th, 2018, Sharon's dead body was found next to her stabbed baby, bottles of illicit brew, and 2 used condoms. News of the horrific death would soon reach the whole nation, and it turned everyone into a frenzy and into shock. I remember this time, many people really were very outspoken about the whole thing. Many people showing up for support for her, calling for her to get her own justice. But obviously, there are going to be those people who, will give negative comments. Yeah, many people tried to shame Sharon. Was shaming Sharon was shaming Sharon because of her relationship with the governor. But guys, this is somebody's daughter, this is somebody's mother. The whole thing is obviously traumatizing to the family. So before you tweet out something, you comment on something, we all have opinions, but the way we say it is what that's going to make an impact. Is it going to be positive? So on to the court case. The governor and his PA were obviously arrested and charges read to them, in which they pleaded not guilty and are now out on a bond of 5 million. Okay, as I said earlier in a previous case, that it's obvious Obado and his PA had something to do with this. So why are they going to plead not guilty? I think I should educate myself more on why these people they plead not guilty. Is it going to be a lesser sentence where they plead not guilty? But from what I have learned from a lot of court cases, when you plead not guilty, the ruling sometimes it's not usually, especially if they are found that you are guilty, the ruling is not usually in your favor. So I don't know. Maybe because this governor guy, he's already trying to get the gubernatorial seat. So he's trying to show that he's not. Okay, I'm not sure, but anyway. If you have never been angry or disappointed in the justice system, this is the time. Apparently, the police officers who reached the scene, they acted very unprofessional. They failed to take photos of the scene with the professional camera, and they took these photos with a phone camera. They did not lift any prints, and they did not really pay attention to the evidence that was around, so which would have served a lot in the court case. And apparently even some key witnesses have been disappearing left, right and center, but luckily there are reports that those who have been disappearing have been showing up, so that's a good thing. The case has been deeply traumatizing to the family, with pictures of the babies even aired in the court, which obviously led Sharon's dad to tears, because whose father will not? It's, I'm just imagining, like, you're there in court, you're seeing all these images of your once beautiful daughter, your soon to be grandchild. It's just so traumatizing. But so far so good. The governor is being exposed, with even a doctor claiming to have faked medical reports for the governor's PA. So things are not looking very good for this governor, because the evidence is there, and we only hope that Sharon will get the justice that she deserves. Attributing to the coronavirus, the governor's request to postpone the case is still in court. It's still in court. It deeply saddens me, like, when I'm researching these cases. You usually, after reading about how horrifying a case happened, you want, like, justice to be served. Somebody really got punished for their doings, but it usually takes a long time for justice to be met. But we can only hope that Lady Justice will do her thing, because this is okay. Well, apparently Sharon, my girl Sharon, is delivering her own justice in her own terms. There have been talks of sightings of Sharon's ghost, ladies and gentlemen, ghost in Obado cells with Melinda. You remember Melinda Auma, her mom, Sharon's mom, claiming that her daughter had come to her in a dream and promised to hunt her killers. You know what? I hope that this is true. The gruesome way in which they killed her, haunting them, is the least of what they deserve, because haunt them. Sharon was buried in a somber burial on 19th October 2018. In attendance were hundreds of mourners, most of them her classmates. Justice should be served for Sharon Otieno and her baby Sharon. Okay, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I've called her baby Sharon. So before the burial of Sharon, her baby was buried before her, and although it was a male child, they named the baby Sharon. So yeah, baby Sharon. Justice should be served for baby Sharon and Sharon